Let's fucking go. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy. And the other fucking guy in the room is Leo. Leo.
What's up, man? How you doing?
And I'm ready to roll this week. I really am. Got some rest this weekend. We actually, Sunday sometimes would be our day off, but we didn't really take a day off from the gym. We would use that as like a miscellaneous day at the gym or some other activity. Nope, we actually took a legit day off, and the bodies needed it. So
nice.
Feel
rejuvenated.
I don't know about that, but when you train in almost every day, and for sure 6 out of 7 days a week, and many times we'll go on runs where it'll be every day for several weeks. Yeah, your body's like, hey man,
take it easy.
Give me a chance to build something here for you. Can't keep breaking me down.
Honestly, got to give your body some rest.
And I wait for it to tell me, otherwise I wouldn't know. And it was hard for both of us, but it was much needed. So it ended up being a Costco day.
Nice, hell yeah.
You know what I saw in Costco?
What's that?
Some Christmas shit.
Already?
I don't know. There should be a rule about no Christmas shit in August, right? August?
Yeah, that was always been one of my bigger pet peeves.
Maybe end of September.
Like, give it some time. Let the holiday come around first before we start
This is
throwing
the earliest I can remember ever seeing it. It was early, but yeah, yesterday was a Costco day to restock the refrigerator with food for our preps. So, I'm not actually prepping for a show, but I am going to try to cut right along with Dawn.
Make it a little easier on her.
To make it easier
on you.
I can't have her all being ripped and hot, and I'm like a fucking slug over here. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, interesting enough, I had a very interesting weekend. More interesting than we wanted it to be.
To say the least.
Friday, we mentioned we were going to the Phoenix Mercury game. Yeah. We haven't missed a game. Haven't missed a home game all year. We've been huge supporters of the Phoenix Mercury. I have done some videos and said some things that I don't know why the coach would have seen them or not. Maybe because some of the things I might have said on the Phoenix Mercury page, but nothing I've said has been derogatory.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're, calling somebody names or something. I just don't understand the strategy. And I'm a passionate fan. I'm not just a casual fan. Mm-hmm. If I get into something, I get into it. I'm a passionate fan. And so we've gotten passionate about this, and you get involved as a fan, and you want to see him do well. And surprisingly enough, we had no idea at the beginning of the year because they revamped the whole team, basically. Mm. Got rid of a bunch of people, brought a bunch of new girls in. And it's the year after. Think about this, that for the Phoenix Mercury, it's very similar to when Tom Brady left the Patriots. More so than even Tampa Bay, because you knew he wasn't going to be at Tampa Bay very long, right?
Yeah.
But Tom Brady's the GOAT. Diana Taurasi is considered by many to be the GOAT of the WNBA. She put in 20 years. We got to see her play several times last year. And she's done. She retired. And then another very important person to the team. Obviously, some people had issues with her because of the whole Russia thing, but Griner as well. Griner you can't deny, you can call her, not be nice and call her anything you want, but she's still a good baller.
Yeah. She's the one that's been a lot of controversy of her being a man, right? Or am I thinking of someone else?
No, that's it.
That's her.
Because I think she identifies
as a man.
maybe as a man.
Is that what it is? Okay.
And I don't know if she's on any hormones or anything for that. I don't know if that would be legal for the WNBA, but she's not overweight, but she's built solid though. You know, for she's not just a tall person that's very thin like you have, or that's just wide. She's
built. Yeah, she got muscle on her.
Yeah. I don't know how else to put it. She's tough to have to contend with, and she's good. Even late in her career, she's worthwhile to have on a team.
Yeah.
And the Atlanta Dream are doing very well. But again, they get rid of that. How often when a team loses, not just a GOAT, but their franchise quarterback? Look at my Pittsburgh Steelers. My Pittsburgh Steelers have done nothing but struggle since Ben Roethlisberger retired. And so my whole point about this is the Phoenix Mercury, hats off to the general manager for getting together a team here in Phoenix that I think, and again, I don't know shit. I'm new to the WNBA mostly. But what I think is maybe the best roster in total from top to bottom in the WNBA. And to be able to compete at even a higher level than they did last year. So they made the playoffs last year, but they weren't a strong team last year, right?
Gotcha.
So that's very hard to do. So hats off to the GM for putting that together, and the management in the office, and finding these ladies and bringing them together. And we're deep, man. I told you, man, we're deep. But we had some injuries at the beginning of the season, even to a star, and I'm talking about Copper in that case. She didn't come in till about halfway through. Mac, similar. Maybe Mac came back shortly before Copper did. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. But Copper's more of a star than Mac is, and she's treated as such. It's considered Copper, Satow, and AT. And AT's having a hell of a year. She is actually an MVP candidate because she's done what nobody else has done, which is she's had more triple doubles. I think everybody else that has a triple double in the league has one. And I think she's at 5 or 6 right now for just this year. And again, that's a big deal in the WNBA. And you also have to consider, like I had said before, that they're only playing 10 minutes a game versus 12, 15. They're doing that in 10-minute quarters. That's really pretty good. What I meant, I might have misspoke there. And then just others surrounding that are really good, and rookies. Several rookies that are on the team that are playing very, very well. Well, when they were hurt, we were all surprised, and they were picked to be at the bottom of the league by everyone. And this group came out playing together. Now, like at the beginning of any season, you can have a little fumble here and there, but that's everybody, but they were strong and stayed at the top in the top 3, and we're in the top 4 now for pretty much the whole season. And everybody goes through their ups and downs and streaks for sure. But ours just looks different. We started playing the whole team and running really hard and playing defense. And then when these other players were added to the roster and came back, seems like a different approach. At times, not as many threes. And this is a 3-point league. These 3-pointers are as important to the WNBA as dunks are to the NBA.
Okay.
That's their thing, right? Because that's what they can do. Yeah. They can do the 3-point. Ain't nobody, like, supposedly some chick on, I think Griner's dunked in a game years ago, and I believe Seattle has a rookie that they say can dunk, but I don't know that she's done it in a game yet. When we played them, she hadn't done it yet.
Gotcha.
So it's not a thing in the league.
Mhm.
Dunking is not a thing in the league. It's 3-pointers. And it's layups. And I just came to this conclusion, too, about the WNBA. There's a reason that some people, here's the reason people are hard on it. And you've rightly made comments about the whole rebound, and we've talked about the me bounds and all that. You're not wrong. Here's the conclusion I've come to. Because men miss layups. They do. Not as many. And the women's misses, both in layups and in 3-pointers, which is their main ways of scoring. A mid-range shot is not their main way of scoring. Yeah. And there's only a handful of players that are have any decent mid-range shot. Yeah. And if they do, they're super valuable, right? Because nobody else is doing it. Their misses are worse than the men.
100%.
Not just more often, because I don't know what that percentage is. They're worse looking. I'm talking about, and I'm sure a dude shooting from the corner occasionally is going to hit the side of the board. Yeah. Right? Yeah. The backboard.
Yeah.
But they do it a lot. They're short a lot. They're over a lot. Where men's misses are hitting the rim. Well, I'm just saying they're misses, but they're still bouncing around the rim. They're coming off the rim at a high percentage. Where the ladies' misses, they either make it or it's ugly as fuck.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'm just being honest here.
No, I agree.
I'm just calling it like it is. Agree. You know? And same for the layups. Because sometimes you're like, good Lord. Now, they're professionals. I couldn't do it. I'm 5'9.5" and I'm white. Okay. Dude, I haven't ever been able to jump more than 6 inches off the ground my whole life. That's why, although I did play a little basketball, I became a wrestler. There was no jumping in wrestling, really.
You're just staying as close to the ground as possible.
And even closer.
If you're in the air, there's something going wrong.
It's bad.
Yes.
I don't mind getting somebody else in the air, but I don't want to be in the air.
Want to be in the air.
Yes, not a good thing. But just where it looks so bad that you're going to say to yourself, even though you couldn't, I could have made that. Does that make sense? I'm just trying to describe what it's like. And when those things happen, we all shake our head in the stands and things, but we're not shouting out derogatory things towards the players.
No.
Am I loud? Look, I freely admit that I was the loudest dad, probably, when my daughter played sports.
Gotcha.
But I was also a coach. And I coached the kids. I was loud, and my voice carries and deep. It always has been that way. But I wasn't yelling at the kids. I was yelling towards the kids to change their position or to direct them
to help
in a way to help the team, to follow through with something we're trying to do, a play or whatever. Yeah. I'm not berating the kid. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And you have to do that when they're younger. How are they gonna know? I'm the coach. I was like, you're facing back towards the goalie. Your best pass is actually to the defenseman or the goalie. Mm-hmm. And at young ages of soccer, you played soccer, right?
Yeah, I actually reffed a lot of youth
Then
soccer.
You 100% know what I'm talking about. When you're talking about kids in the 7 to 9 age group,
they're just running towards the ball.
Parents flip the fuck out if your own player kicks it towards your goal. Yeah. They flip out. But soccer, that's what if you want to teach them the right way to play.
Exactly. That's what you're supposed to do. You play the way you're facing.
Yeah. And because I'm doing that to get my goalie sometimes to send it down towards a corner and kick it over and if the ball's running towards him, not just still, he can get a really good boot on it sometimes. Sometimes he might miss, but he can get a really good, boot on it, right? And then it's just smart play.
Mm-hmm.
And kids will listen to you and do those right things at very early ages. If you as a coach do one thing, teach them. I was one of the only coaches, and I learned this from other super experienced coaches because I had no idea at the time when I first started what the fuck I was doing. But I took time to learn from great coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, if you're, mostly people see you're using the inside or the outside of your foot when you're playing soccer. But when you're running straight, if you want to run fast and keep the ball going straight, you have to put your toe down, and hit it with the laces. And I taught my kids to do that at the very earliest age. Nobody on any team we ever played taught kids to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we're blowing by them. Our kids are blowing by them. They're sprinting right by them because they can with the ball. They're not slowed down with the ball like the other team is because they're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Just simple little things that you can do. But again, the whole idea was I'm being as loud.
Yeah.
And I will also say that there, at least a few times, was probably kicked. Well, not probably. I was kicked out of the game. So the Mercury game and previous Mercury games. What have I said previous Mercury games? Probably the biggest thing. Well, we've all been loud towards the officials.
Yeah,
okay?
They kind of have to already know that. That's a normal thing. You're gonna get yelled at if you're a ref.
And we have been hard on them. They deserve it. Don't get me wrong, they deserve it. But we've been hard on them. Now, we have said, you suck, you're horrible. There are women behind me that know every ref and official by first name.
Mm-hmm.
They know every name, and they're yelling at them loudly, as loud as I'm yelling, right? Because we've just seen some terrible things. And what people need to know about that for the WNBA is it is not a Caitlin Clark problem, which it's kind of presented as or has been. Like these officials need to do something, or she's going to keep getting hurt and this and that. And I'm not saying there was some stupid stuff not directed towards her, but I'm saying this is widespread throughout the WNBA.
Gotcha.
In so many games. It just gets to the point of being ridiculous. Obvious push-offs. Every single play by the offensive player. And it's allowed for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's really egregious or, in their picks. Let me say this. Besides missing threes ugly, right? And missing way too many open layups, right? The next thing that they're not great at, they set a lot of picks, but they set bad picks. Or the player doesn't use the pick. So imagine you come up, I'm coming around you to the right, and you set a pick on the player guarding me, but instead of me going right, continuing to go right and go around you, and that person getting caught up by your pick, I go back left. What is that?
I don't know.
What's the thought process there? Oh, I don't want to do that now? I don't want to utilize this pick that was set for me? Just not always good at using the pick. And really, for their game, that's one. If you want to be a good team, the better you can do that, the better your team is gonna be.
Yeah.
And it's just unforced turnovers. And that could be men or women. You get too many unforced turnovers. Just constantly because Caitlin Clark is so good at these long passes that just drop in there, over top of players. Everybody seems to be trying it now, and they're not really good at it.
No, they're not. They're trying to be someone that they're not. No, I agree.
Work on it.
There's a reason a good majority of people don't really enjoy watching the WNBA, and it's the adding up of all those things put up together. So,
yeah. And so this is a long way to set this up, but I wanted to be honest about who I am and why it's surprising yet not surprising. Some people, if they don't know the facts, they're going to be like, that's Troy. But it really wasn't. It really hasn't been like that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, directing that to the officials hasn't been an issue. They don't like it if you use any type of swear word. They'll say something to you and ask you not to do that. I have seen that. But other than that, I mean, there's security all around me because how good our seats are.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that should be noted too is how good our seats are.
Mm-hmm.
We have the most expensive non-floor seats in that arena.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're literally mid-court, first row, right behind the 3 rows of floor seats.
Okay, yeah.
Which are more expensive than ours. But ours, again, they just took it out of my account for next year before this happened. So we'll see if I'll be getting my money back, if I'll be allowed to finish the season or see any more games. We don't know yet. I haven't been contacted yet. He said he was going to contact me that night and didn't. So today being Monday, I'm expecting something today, or I'll call because we have another game on Thursday.
Gotcha.
And then I don't know how I feel yet about going back, honestly, too, after, being treated that way. Especially when they can't tell you why, other than the coach asked them to. That was the reason. There's no violation of policy or anything that, there's a fan code of conduct that they announce before every game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't violate fan code of conduct. What I did do, and like I said, what I've done in previous games, let me say again what I've done in previous games. We definitely were hard on the officials, but not me or anybody around me has directed that to any of our home team's players.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of the opposing team, you will. When you get a player that fouls something and they're crying about it, you will be yelling, "Stop crying about it!" The typical fan stuff, normal fan stuff, right? That kind of thing. But I've never heard anybody around me, and again, I haven't said anything derogatory about our players or the coach. We might have turned and said it to somebody sitting next to us.
Mm-hmm.
We might have had a conversation about the coach and what's going on, but never have yelled it out on anything out on the court. One of the other times, a couple times, so I'm a big Kehlani Brown fan. I love rooting for underdogs. And she's a bench player. But she's gotten better over the course of the season. And she started out playing, and she was getting better. She was getting better and better. Now, I realize because she's a big girl, she doesn't have a lot of gas a lot of times. And if you want to run, but we're not always running the way that we should. And again, maybe she can only run 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she can't run 4 minutes. Run her for fucking 2 minutes, right? There are times we've needed a big body in there to guard the other team, like a Griner or Griner's teammate Jones, who can just push people around, legitimately push people around. Like within the rules. Now, sometimes they might do it outside of the rules too. You want to get away with whatever you can. But I'm just saying, just normal basketball, but they can push people around because you can't stop them because you're 170 pounds and these women are 250 or more, you know?
Yeah.
They're big and tall. So Brown, and I'm not the only one. In our section there, we like Brown. We love seeing her get in the game. She's going to get maybe 4 points for you, if any. And they're going to be from rebounds that she puts back up, you know. But she's going to get you some rebounds, and she's going to make some defensive stops for you when you're in there. And you have, because we're such a deep team, we have 4 other players in there capable of scoring, of putting up that 3. We don't need her to do that. She's going to get her points just off the rebounds or the other things that are happening. Or sometimes she will just be down low in good position, and you get the ball to her, and she can turn and just pop it off the, square real easily. That's what you want, right? So we will yell, put in Brown, put in Brown. We will do that. He hasn't been doing that lately. And there was a time when I did yell, put in Musa. And I think I even talked about it. And I loved her because she was a little scrapper. I don't know where she went, if she got traded exactly or if she was just cut. But she was let go from the team or traded when Bonner came to us from the Fever.
Okay.
So that a little while back, a month or so back, whatever that was. And there was a game where I thought she could make a difference. She, again, just somebody trying to make a name for themselves, but one of those players that if you really enjoy sports and basketball and you really know the game, you really love the effort that player puts in. Just nonstop diving for the ball, hustling, just going after things, trying to make something happen for the team, but also to say, hey, I can play,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get many minutes. I'm going to make the most of the minutes I'm here.
Yeah.
I love those stories, dude. I just do. Well, I was yelling to put her in, and the coach did turn and look directly at me and gave a weird face. And we all laughed, and we didn't think it was a big deal. But I didn't learn until later in the game that the reason she wasn't being put in, mostly at that time, was because she was being let go or traded.
Gotcha.
And especially if she was being traded, you don't want somebody getting hurt,
You lose the value.
and she wasn't a starter, so it was even less important to play player,
Yep.
And mess up a deal where you're trying to bring somebody else in, right?
Yep.
Right. So that brings us to Friday night then. And me saying, so the play was, and I watched it when I got home too, to see if you could see me or the coach, but they went to commercial and stuff, and you couldn't see him looking at me.
Gotcha.
So there's a play where the ball gets knocked out of bounds by the Golden State player, and it very clearly is the Golden State player. The official signals Golden State ball. The coach is walking down the sideline, flailing his arms, like it's this way, you got it wrong. They show the replay on the screen. It's not even close. Sometimes you can't tell.
Yeah.
Did the person, it's clear as day. This is the one instance where there was like no risk that if you challenge the play, you're going to win the call.
Yeah.
And you only get so many challenges, even if you win them, which I don't like about the WNBA. If you win challenges, even in the alpha, if you win challenges, you should keep getting them until you're wrong. You should keep getting them. And maybe you get so many, 2, 3, whatever. They need to change the rules on this stuff and how they do this. But the point is, not just me, the coach saw that it was our ball. We all saw it. And then we're wondering why. And the players are going like this. This is a new thing in both the NBA and the WNBA this past year.
Never seen it.
Never seen it. You will. Now they just watch
a few more games.
Watch when the NBA starts back up. You'll see it. They're going like this. That means the players saying, hey, I didn't really do that. Review it. Now, the players are wrong Probably
a lot of
over
the time.
50% of the time.
Yeah.
But everybody's got their finger in a twirl now, calling for the coach or the assistant coaches to tell the coach, review the play.
Gotcha.
Right? So you got players doing that. I don't know what the strategy was. I did hear the announcers when I replayed it act like it wasn't a big deal, but you got to understand, are these home team announcers, how critical are they going to be of the coach?
Oh, of the coach? Not very.
Not very.
No.
Not very. To me, there was no good reason to not do that. Golden State inbounds the ball, right, and immediately scores.
Okay.
And it's a score that just didn't have to happen.
Yeah.
Now, we score after that, but still, it just didn't have to happen. It's a close game yet. They did end up winning the game. I knew Alyssa Thomas was going to get, AT was going to get a triple-double again, just looking at her numbers and her play and where her stats were at halftime. But that's what I said, and I did say it loudly, and I did say it more than once.
Mm-hmm.
And he turned around and stared at me like I had called him a motherfucker. It was weird. I'm like, what's your problem, dude? He just lost it. And I'd love to be able to show video of him losing it. Because none of the officials who've really had shit said to them have ever lost it. You're the head coach. You got to let that shit roll. Now, there is crossing the line. And I did talk about it when it happened in a game. Wasn't it one of the Diamondbacks players that somebody yelled something onto the field about somebody's mother who had died or something like that? And the player had to, like, it was not good.
Mm-hmm.
That shit's not cool. You know what I mean? There is a line.
Mm-hmm.
And I know where it is. I'm not stupid. I'm old. I've been through this shit before. The other thing is, sometimes you can say things that it doesn't matter your proximity, that if you really say things you really shouldn't be saying, even though they might not be able to hear it on the floor, fans around you aren't going to appreciate it, and they might report you. Okay? This was nothing like that. This was literally me saying, challenge the call. And then he, not just for a minute, he's walking around mad for the next 30 seconds, even in the huddle, looking over and staring at me and then calling security. Well, I was going to go to, there's only 2 minutes left in the half. I'm going to security after this at halftime anyways. Like, what's his fucking problem? So then I was asked to come and talk to them. And that really wasn't handled very well. Then I was very polite, but I was like, what did I do wrong? And they couldn't tell me. And so then I was asked to leave. They wouldn't let, I was like, were one of you guys going to go get my girlfriend? Oh, she's free to stay. Really? She's free to stay? She'd have no ride, dude. You can't just go back in there and say, hey, meet him outside or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And eventually I did message her and we did meet outside. And then somebody else met me outside as we were going outside. And I'm waiting for a response from that. Because same thing. Like, dude, you realize, and he did acknowledge this. I'd love to have this shit on film. Because he acknowledged what you're not going to get people in the organization to admit, which I've talked about with you. You've tapped out in the WNBA. You have tapped out the LGBT community. You've tapped out. They're there in force. And I've always said, look, if y'all want this, you all need to support them and do that. And you know what? I found out, and I've been totally honest about it right here. They do. They're there in big support. And you have to find a way to do it, which, like when we talked about Cracker Barrel the other day, has not been able to do it. You have to find a way to not shit on the people who have supported the league for 28 years right? And then still attract new people. You have to find a balance. You can't say, well, we're not going to do these things anymore that this community is used to us doing because we want to. There's got to be a balance there. But I said to him, I said, I said that, you're all tapped out. You need people like me. You need me doing this, even though nobody's listening to this yet.
Mm-hmm.
You need more people doing this and putting out videos. And I had just started doing TikTok videos after the game. And, Dawn has been trying to get in contact with the team so we could have team officials, executives, to talk to. I've covered sports. We will ditch that, won't we? I am not fucking new. I know how to handle myself in a locker room that's appropriate. There are things you can and can't do in a locker room, too.
Mm-hmm.
I've done those things. I have experience doing those things. And so now, we don't even know if we get to finish out. And we need to know soon because we have to make a decision about the playoff tickets. And you should see the cost of the playoff tickets, dude. That's going to be another $3-4 grand or something if they were to make it all the way, depending on how many home games. Yeah. But it's going to be a considerable amount more money. Now, maybe my money doesn't matter. I don't know.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they were like, nah.
I think in this instance, it's a wrong tack to take. This is not what you want to be doing. But they've been making a lot of bad missteps, in my opinion, and have for the 2 years that I've been paying attention now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, more closely this year than even last year, but just dumb things, even going back to Caitlin Clark not making the Olympic team, things like that. Just marketing, business things. Because I look at things that way.
Yeah.
I don't just look at it from a fan perspective. I've also been looking at this, from a marketing, a business perspective, and, wanting to see, now that I'm interested in it, I want to see it grow. I want to see it do well. I want to see the players do well. I want to see the players, create more the attention they need to get paid more, because that's what it's going to, I understand what it's going to take for them to get paid more. And not treating your fans well because you're in a bad moment, man, you got to own that shit. Because I've had to do that in my life. I've had to own it when I've been wrong and done it. Not this time. What I said was not any type of conduct that anybody would expect that there would be any type of repercussions from at all. At all. And then I'll update everybody when we figure out what happens.
I'm excited for the update. Really am.
You know what? We went to the Cardinals game on Saturday against the Raiders.
Okay.
We had a good time. It was better this time getting in there for the parking and stuff because I just went with the flow and tried to stop fighting the flow and just went with it. And it took what it took to get in and get out. So that was okay. And like I said, our seats, love our seats. And the thing about our seats, because of where we're sitting, there's literally nothing I could say unless it was people around me, right? But I mean, towards the field, that they could hear me, that I would ever get, but there wasn't nothing to yell about. It's a preseason game.
Yeah.
Nothing to get excited about. But I enjoy that, I enjoy that wasn't a foul or that was a hit. Some people do more than others. It's just how you watch the game. I watch the game the same way at home. It's no different. I don't know. But we did have a good time, and the Raider fans showed up in mass. It almost felt like a Raiders home game. There were so many there.
A lot of Raider fans out
A
here.
lot of Raider fans.
Unfortunately, but they're here.
And they show up, and I've had experience, obviously, with Raider fans, being a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, and I've had experience with them where they've had seasons where they weren't really that good, but still came into Pittsburgh and beat us anyways. And it would be so frustrating. I don't mind losing to the Raiders when they're playing, when they're a good team.
Yeah.
When they're 11-5 or something, 10-2. I don't mind losing to them then.
Yeah.
But when they have a losing record and we lose, I really hate losing to the Raiders. But the one thing difference, and because, I've explained kind of how I hate the Browns. I don't have hate for the Brown or for the Raider fans or the Raider organization. I don't know. I guess it's because I always thought John Madden was cool. I grew up, when there was that rivalry and Kenny the Snake Stabler was the quarterback. They had some great running backs over the years and great players over the years. Even though they, haven't always, they've been there, they've won. I like how crazy their fans get and how they dress up, for their games and stuff. And you pan the crowd and the shit some of those people are wearing. It's crazy. But I love the passion. I just love that. So I did go up to a couple of guys and get a picture with a couple of guys, just like, man, I just love I love your fan base, man. And they were happy to take a picture, and it was pretty cool. So we had a good time. No problems, no issues with the Cardinals.
The football game.
Maybe they'll give me my money back, and I'll put it towards another watch. I don't know. I'll find something to spend it on. Maybe I'll spend it on a small Suns package. I would never do a whole season ticket package. That's way too many games. Yeah, I can't do 41 games. That's insane. No way. I didn't know that we could do the 20, to be honest, or the 21 that we have with the WNBA. But we've had, I don't know what to say. We have fun, and it's at a good time of the year for us to be doing it. What else are you going to do? It's hot. It's 110 fucking degrees. What are you going to do? It's not all that bad to be in a nice facility, being entertained and being around other great people. We've met so many great people around us. I've said that. That's one of the reasons it's not directly for business, but kind of, because to me, you never know who you're going to meet, where, and what contacts, you're going to maybe get out of it. We sat next to, during this game, a father and daughter, and his daughter had played ball with one of the rookies on the Golden State team. Now, she wasn't getting into play, but she was
on the team.
But she was on the team and was there, and it was cool. And he had coached youth basketball, like travel girls basketball and stuff like that. So it was interesting to hear his takes on the game and the players as well from his perspective. And we pretty much agreed, with different players, what's going on with the league, things you'd like to see him work on, things like that. But it was interesting to talk to. And he was not originally from here, but his daughters moved here for college. 2 of them moved here to go to ASU. And so when they graduated, they stayed here. And so I guess when he retired not too long ago, decided to move here and be with him, be with them. Yeah. So cool. But like I said, we've met wonderful people around us. I hate to lose that, but we'll see what happens. But I'm going to continue to talk about it, and I'm going to continue to be honest about it when I talk about the game on social media. I just am, and I'm going to defend them when I think they need defended, because that's just who I am. And It's not for everyone, but it might be for some. And maybe I have a different perspective on it too, because I'm a girl dad. I think that makes a difference. Maybe it doesn't. But I've enjoyed girls' sports like girls' soccer. And girls play soccer. They play a different game than the boys. It's a different game. It's not as fast, right? There's a difference. But when it's competitive and you have competitive players out there and they're doing their best, it's still good. It's still good, at least for me, to watch.
I was about to say, it definitely depends on your standard of quality of a game for sure. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen very often in soccer, but when you get a competitive match in soccer, it's so entertaining because it's competitive. But unfortunately, you don't.
Well,
you
I
don't
get
get
wrapped
to see it
up
very
into
often.
when it's your own kid out there.
Yeah,
you
that's
get
different.
wrapped. You
Yeah,
get
that's
wrapped up
different.
into whether it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
And I believe sports really can have a positive influence for most kids. And the thing that I liked about soccer is I felt soccer, unlike other sports, any kid can run, any kid can kick a ball. The rest is just teaching them the fundamentals.
Yeah.
You can teach a kid to hit. Not every kid's going to be a great hitter. They're just not. And you could say, well, in soccer, well, you know what? Yeah, it may be true because of the way that a certain kid is built and things that he can. But you know what? There's a place for him somewhere. And I would find a place for him. You know, there's defense. And I would teach defense for soccer almost like basketball, guarding someone.
Yeah.
Where you're not just running up to the player and trying to kick the ball into their foot, which is what every other kid tried to do. I would get you up. I would get my player up on you a couple feet away and to go with you and wait for an opportunity when the ball is not on your foot to try to swipe it away.
Yeah.
Some people might not think that's a big deal. If you have a little kid, go watch little kid soccer. Tell me it's not a big deal. It is. And again, like I said, kids they're so malleable at that young age. And they want to perform for the coach. They want to perform for their parents. They want their teammates to cheer them on, right? They want that. Man, they will listen. They will learn if you show it to them. You can say, "Oh, that's too hard for them." No, it's not. It's not. You got to give them more. You got to give them more credit than that. At least I did. So, but yeah, I like that my daughter had that opportunity. She did play basketball in junior high because she asked to. Hey, can I? Sure. I always let her do whatever she wanted to do. She picked soccer. I didn't. Fuck, dude, I didn't pick soccer, for God's sakes. It'd be interesting now if my daughter would pick flag football today, because flag football is becoming more popular and really growing with girls.
Yeah.
Really, really big. Because my daughter, huge football fan, huge love of football. That I could see her. I have no idea what position she would play. But it would be interesting if she would choose that today. But that's it. I supported her. So that's how she got me into soccer. I would not watch men's soccer today if it wasn't for my daughter playing soccer. Because I wasn't exposed to it. Nobody my age in the area that I grew up in was really exposed much to it.
Yeah.
If you got into the city, you were, but for us, it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, it was football.
It was football and baseball. Football, basketball, baseball. Football, basketball, baseball. That was it. And the other thing they did when I created, and then other people created, when I created in our area the first soccer club, the football people freaked the fuck out because they were all worried that I was going to steal all the football players and that that some of the best athletes then wouldn't be playing in football in high school. Now they did, but they also credited a lot with how well they did and stuff to what we did in soccer, footwork, just teamwork and everything. I still have those. How about this? At 57 years old, I still have kids that were 9 when I coached them over 20 years ago, right? Over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That still keep in contact with me today. Still message me on Facebook.
Really dope.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty dope.
That's pretty cool. And they grew up and they saw I went through some shit too.
Yeah.
And heard people say shit. And they judge for themselves. They're like, yeah, he did good by me. And look at his comeback or whatever, I still get those messages. That is kind of cool. I do appreciate that. I don't know. So obviously, for me to talk, I didn't think I was going to talk about this long.
No, but
I don't know if it's good or not.
No, I mean, you seem to be pretty passionate about the topic, so I don't see why it would be bad.
Well, we're working on it. We are working on it. We didn't even play the video, did we?
No. But you explained the situation anyway.
Nice. I don't think we even had to. I pretty much said everything that's in the video.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you want to see the video, guys, just follow me on TikTok. That's the thing to do. Trust me, I am busting my ass on social media. And I'm doing the work. Leo does the YouTube stuff. He'll be providing some more content here soon that we'll be able to use from the YouTube in our other channels. And I'll be so grateful for that because I'm just doing so much work trying to find things and find interesting things and build an audience and, back up on TikTok. It's frustrating. I only think about it for a fleeting second. Where would my audience be today if my account that had 15,000 had not gotten taken down? Now, I've built another 3,500 from scratch, but I think it would be more than that. I think I would be closer, not just over 20,000. I think I'd be closer to 25,000 maybe.
I was going to say
maybe
more like
more.
40, 50, to be honest with you. 'Cause at that point, once you get towards the bigger numbers, you tend to explode.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yes,
that's what I agree with that. And that would in tune give me people to pitch this to.
Yep.
Which it helps everything. So you have no idea how frustrating it is to do the work and you're looking for validation somewhere that you're on the right track. I don't need any validation for me personally. That I don't need. I'm going to be me and who I am no matter what. That's not going to change. But validation for the work and the content and seeing results from it, seeing business from it, whatever it is. Facebook as well. Like I said, I think Facebook has even gotten better. More people are using the follow button on Facebook than they did before. And now mine is a regular page. Mine isn't a creator page. Mine isn't like a business page or that kind of thing. I don't know. I just don't know about starting over and doing that. I like what I have now, and people can follow on it. And like I said, it's gotten better.
You might be able to just again. I haven't been on Facebook for quite a while, so I'm not 100% sure. But
it's getting better.
If I do remember correctly, I believe you can just convert it, so you don't have to start from scratch.
Yeah, I don't know how that.
I don't know what the benefits are or the negatives about it, so I don't want to say oh, go ahead and do it. But
and then I had over 15,000 in Instagram too, but I don't know how much of it was real because I think I got hit by a bunch of bots one time, and That's what I think is happening. What I found out, what I think is happening on X. How many are like where I tell you I'm going up 10 and then they're disappearing?
Yeah.
I think it's X clearing out bot accounts now and doing that much more than they used to.
Yes, and they're not just only bots, but accounts that have been inactive for X amount of time, even though they're not technically bots, they will also kind of get rid of those as well.
Weird. If I could just show you someday how many likes I get that are things that are just weird. That when you go to their page, it's always some Asian chick that has no following is the profile picture. They're Asian. Do men in America have a thing for Asians, that they're Asian women that they're trying to play on or scam? Is that a thing?
No, it's just Asian women historically have been the... funny enough, I was just having a conversation with my friend about this.
Please tell me, sure.
Asian women are the most desirable for like I think 90% of men around the world. And in the US, Asian women, particularly from Japan, are going to be like sought after 95% of the time compared to other races. So that's why a lot of the times, a lot of scam accounts and a lot of like this and that will typically have an Asian woman in the front because of a lot of stereotypes and a lot of the past.
I get that on my cell phone too.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of Asian women.
I just got one this morning.
And stuff
it's
like that.
Weird.
It's because
like, well, how did they get my number? And it's daily now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
daily.
Yeah, I don't know. I forget where exactly it was, but it was about a week ago. Me and my friend were talking about what the standard is for beauty, and we looked up all the percentages and this and that and that. We were both surprised to learn that Asian women are actually like the most sought after women around the entirety of the world.
Now, if you show me an Asian with a boob job, that might be true. I'm sorry. Now, maybe I was wondering about that too. Like I said, because I look at the pictures that are attached to these, and I'm like, this Asian woman looks like a 15-year-old boy or built like a 15-year-old boy. But I guess we have a problem in this country with dudes and pedophilia or like children. You know what I mean?
It's around the entire. It's like I said, when we were looking this up,
I just don't pay attention to that. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
I didn't know, because when we both said like just white women were going to be number one, but they were, I think, 3.
White women are taking themselves out of the market.
They are, by
being crazy. No, I mean, can we be honest? Can I be honest?
You definitely can.
All right, I'm going to say.
I don't think it's ever stopped you.
Something. Maybe Officer Tatum can help me out. But didn't it used to be known that, you know, in certain circumstances that black women might be a little bit crazier than white women? Was that not a stereotype a little bit?
The difference is it's a different type of crazy.
That's fair enough.
There's white women crazy, and then there's
here's
black
the thing.
Women crazy. Two different crazies.
But the amount of crazy, I think the white women have far out surpassed them now.
But I think that's
they're way like.
But I think that's
I'd rather have the other crazy than that.
Yeah.
They're just they don't. And when I see women post about what men should do to like woo them, I'm thinking, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? What are you offering to be a good woman to a man? What do you got besides that box that you can offer? How about focus on that?
There's
and
actually,
you'll find a good dude.
Yeah, there's actually someone on, I forget whether it was on Instagram or TikTok, that he sits down with women on the podcast and he has those conversations with them, right?
I think I've seen some of those.
And he makes some of the best points ever. And like, again, I grew up in a very old school kind of Christian manner or Catholic manner and stuff like that. So I do have certain values, but the way this man just explains the ways of like the standard a woman has compared to a standard that a man has, and like the different things that are provided from a man compared to a woman, and the way he explains it, and the way that they're just at the end of the video all gasp because they don't have anything better to say because they can't.
I think
man.
there'll be like 4 or 5 of them, right?
Yep.
Okay, I've seen it. I don't know what the name of it is.
I can't remember off the top of my
But
head, but
hopefully it'll pop up on
it
my
will
phone
pop
now
up later,
that you've
yep.
talked about
Yeah.
it. It'll be a thing. Just interesting. All right. So I got one story since I got to do one other thing today since we didn't do it. Well, let's do two things quickly. Let's do two things real quick in less than 10 minutes. All right. Let's do the Kansas State thing because I think that's the thing. Yeah. So here, I was surprised to see this last night. I didn't see it when it happened on Saturday. Dawn and I did watch the Kansas State, Iowa State game in Dublin, Ireland. And we watched the game last year because it was a big game last year where Florida State lost, and they were supposed to be a good team last year, and they never recovered. They dived the whole season. It set it off. So this is a new thing they've started the last couple years, kicking off the college football season with this game in Dublin, Ireland. And so you have two teams that are ranked like 22, 17 kind of thing.
Okay. Towards the lower end of the bracket.
And that have been near the top of their leagues, right? So good game, good players. This is a returning quarterback, this Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson's dad and his brother got into a fight, and you didn't even understand when you were trying to figure out what happened at first. You're thinking they got in a fight with somebody else, or you're thinking they got into a fight with Iowa State fans. No, right? No, they get into a fight with each other. And there's a little bit of a video. Did you have the video?
I did not, but I'm pretty sure this is the link to the video.
All right. Well, there's a bunch of different ones.
I can find one real quick.
Yeah. There isn't one on that one down lower? No.
It's just a picture.
Huh. Okay. Well, there's a few different ones.
I can find it pretty quick.
All right. To show, because like, it rains in Ireland.
This is the one you were talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, let's see. They're going to show. Here we go. Yeah. That's the dad in the jersey on top of his son who's on the ground. Ugh. And then you got these other people trying to pick him up. It is Ireland. I have no idea how much alcohol these two had. And then once the kid got up, he was going back
into it. Yeah.
I wish they had some video before this. Or maybe not.
That's a chain that he just picked up off the ground.
Yeah, but I don't know. That doesn't look like what would be his kid, though. No.
It looks like some random kid running down the street talking shit.
I thought he got into a fight with his own kid. Looking at it now, looking at the dad, like I didn't understand. It is his son.
Yeah, he's just a little
yeah, because the family, it's a mixed family.
Yeah.
That's what was confusing me there, because it just seemed odd for a father and a son
to be at least like in front of a crowd in the middle of a street.
Yeah, and so they came out with an apology too, which I think is I don't know how I feel about the apology stuff. I really don't. I don't know. I mean, no offense to the dad and the brother, son. It's the one on the field that people really give a shit about.
Yeah.
Nobody really cares about you.
I mean, for the most part, I feel like if they wouldn't have said nothing, no one would have probably even known
it would be no different.
Who it was.
It'd be no different.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe somebody told them they had to. I certainly wouldn't want it to in any way be laid upon the kid that's playing. Or come back on him in any way.
Yep.
That should not happen. He's not responsible for other idiots in his family. Whatever that was. So, I just thought we should do this since I got kicked out of a WNBA games. Just kind of went with that too. Like, but they didn't get kicked out. This
just got up and went to the game.
And then this one. So a flight attendant that was on British Airways got arrested in London. This is, I got to get through this. A British Airways flight attendant was discovered naked, reportedly smoking meth in a lavatory during a transatlantic flight from LAX. The incident shocked passengers and crew, raising fresh concerns over safety and professional conduct among airline staff. The flight attendant, who had previously appeared in British Airways official safety video, was removed from duty and arrested upon landing at Heathrow. I mean, does she think the smell wouldn't give her away in a small little thing? And then why are you naked? Okay. You're trying to get away with doing drugs.
Was it a female
while you're
or a
working?
Male? Sorry.
Huh?
Was it a female or a male?
Well, let's find out.
Because I have this pulled up.
Let's find out.
It seems to be. Is it 3 days ago?
Yeah.
The London route found naked and high on drugs on the toilet.
Okay.
He definitely seems like.
So it was a
that
dude.
guy, yeah.
That's even crazy.
That's even worse, yeah.
That it's a dude. I don't know why I think it would be better if it was a woman.
I mean, for us,
I'm just shocked it was a dude, because I guess I'm showing my male patriarchy, my whole thing about that flight attendants should be women. I don't know. The flight attendant previously always said that. So let me see what else. Is there any more to it? Here we go. Crew member locked himself in the lavatory mid-flight and was found completely unclothed, reportedly smoking crystal meth. So how did they get the door open? Or like, why would he open the door if he was naked?
I'm sure they have some sort of like unlocking mechanism from the
I
outside.
would think, right?
Yeah.
Witnesses described him as incoherent. Something had to happen in his life really badly
right before
to
that
mid-flight while you're working to decide to get rid of all your and smoke meth.
It says witnesses described him as incoherent, muttering nonsense phrases before he admitted, "I've been a naughty boy."
A very naughty boy. You know this dude smoking meth before you sex with his boyfriend. You know that, right? I know you don't want to think about that, but I'm just telling you he is.
That's funny what I just read right there.
He's been with them since 2018 and had cultivated a flamboyant social media presence that showcased late night partying, heavy drinking, and glamorous travel posts. Reports suggest he'd been investigated previously for unspecified conduct, though the incident marked the most severe breach to date. He now faces criminal charges, as you've shown there as well, being permanently removed from duties. They have a zero tolerance policy. Is that a zero tolerance to the meth or being naked or both?
I was about to say, what's the limit on those? And the funny thing at the bottom of this article here, it says that reported by BBC, the case has also been revived comparisons to an earlier incident in which another BA flight attendant allegedly stripped and danced in the business class during a cocaine binge on a similar U.S. London route. So this BA flight attendants seem to have a lot of fun.
Dude, I want to be on that flight, man. Just for the entertainment.
What goes down, yeah. I didn't know BA got down like that. That's crazy.
That's good. That's good. See, now this is the kind of like clip we need to promote this show, dude, because we're going to be doing more of this. I got more of this stuff coming.
Oh,
I
man.
found a way to do more of this again. And the other thing I think I'm going to do that I'm just going to share now that nobody else is going to listen to but you and me, and I might as well do it because I would tell you afterwards, so we'll just do it on here. I had some stuff that I was going to talk about today that we didn't get to, and we will. So save the Charlie Kirk thing. That I do want. Charlie Kirk has a take on alcohol that I think is really interesting, and legalization of marijuana and those things.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a pretty interesting point of view.
Okay.
And I think I need to be talking about more of those types of things as well
Mm-hmm.
because of my own experience in sharing, being a recovering alcoholic and addict, and yeah, I think it's important and that I have something to offer there, especially to people that are trying to rebuild their lives, making a comeback, and what it takes. And the struggle that you're going to go through sober, because things just don't automatically get easier in your life.
It gets so much worse at first.
Because you stop drinking. Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But you have to learn how to deal with those things without the alcohol. And it's just because of all the things that Dawn and I do now.
Mm.
And do them sober, and she stopped drinking, not because she felt that she had a problem. It was more social drinking, and that she had fitness goals that it just didn't fit with, and it wasn't that important to her. Now, if you have fitness goals and you can't stop like she did, that should tell you have a problem. That it's that important to you. Is it really that important to you? And I'm not trying to put it down or put anybody down that drinks, because there are lots of people that can drink responsibly and not have any issues whatsoever. But there's also a lot that can't, and I think need to be shown a way. And also the people who do drink need to understand you don't have to stay away from us. That I think we have some friends now that we don't do some things with us. Almost like and maybe we wouldn't fit in because we're not about just sitting and drinking a pitcher of margaritas by ourselves. But if it's really about more of sharing with a group of people and having a good time and a barbecue or whatever, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
We're good. I don't have a high tolerance for people being idiots. That, especially if you're drunk, that is going to be all bad. But most of the time, I've made this decision long ago, and I've, to date, God bless, and with God's grace, have been able to implement it. If I need to remove myself from a place, I will remove myself.
Yeah.
But this is just because things are going to go bad, and the best thing for me to do is just get out of here. And that's it. And the person that's with me knows, even friends, if you either got to get an Uber if you want to stay, or you need to leave because I'm leaving. But I'm not staying. And you got to be okay with that. That's it. But I want to do more. I think I do more stuff like that because I'm trying to figure out who I know who I am. How do I express that on the podcast and make it interesting for the listeners? What value do I have of that I can share? That's what I'm talking about. And focusing on that, I'm hoping, because then it's something more passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
That's what draws people in, is the passion many times. Because I do get that sometimes when we're just sitting somewhere talking to somebody new that we never met before, and we start talking about fitness and peptides and different things, and people will say, man, you're just, they listen because they're like, you're so passionate about it that it's now interesting to them, and maybe it wasn't before. But a lot of times they're like, oh, we were just talking about this recently, because that kind of stuff is being talked about more than it has been in the past. But if you have ideas, please also comment. Drop your comments down there. Tell us what you think. We appreciate you. Pass it along. Hit that subscribe button.
I'm actually going to stop you there.
Yeah.
Because I want you to react to this.
Okay.
Like I said, we were talking.
This is that thing. Yes, please do.
So this is Rampage's son attending at a pro wrestling show in LA. I saw this earlier in the day. Earlier in the week. And I as soon as I saw this, I was going to share it with you, but I thought I'd save it for
No,
the stream.
please.
It's a very short video, but I'd like to see your reaction on this because, wow, is what I had to say.
Last night at the Knox X Pro Wrestling Academy off of Lancashire. You see Rajah Jackson jump into the ring, slam Psycho Stu to the ground, and then punch him almost 24 times in the face. We're freezing the video right here because he loses consciousness. And
yeah, so you saw the first two punches, right?
Yeah.
He gave him a good amount, and the ref didn't do anything. Just over and over and over again. This was a bad video. I didn't see it beforehand, but I'll share the original video with you afterwards. But
wow,
people are saying like it's attempted murder. Even his own father was like that. That was like, because this was streamed, I believe, from one of the more popular kick streamers, and Rampage was with whoever was streaming it or something like that, and they got like a live reaction from him. So, bad video for me to pick up, but I'll share the original one with you so you can see the full video on that.
It's just crazy.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, we got to check out the backstory on that. I want to know.
Definitely. I'll have it pulled up for next time.
About that.
So, yeah.
Because obviously, if he wasn't supposed to be in there, the referee would know he's not supposed to be in there, too.
That was my biggest thing is the referee didn't react to him being in the ring.
Right.
Because he was standing in the ring for quite a while before. Like, he was waiting.
This happened last night.
And the guy, look, when he turns him around and picks him up.
X Pro Wrestling Academy.
Even this guy doesn't really
react.
He looks like he's not fighting it.
Yeah.
He's not looking like that's not expected.
Exactly.
But I'm sure he didn't expect it to get hit with real fucking punches.
That was the
like real punches.
Like that man was that was a UFC type of I'm trying to kill this man on the canvas. Like, God.
Which is really shitty because that didn't give that dude a chance to defend himself at all. No. You know?
No.
Not at all.
Yeah, no, that was horrible. That was horrible.
That is horrible.
But yeah, sorry.
No, thanks. No, I know we wanted to do that. Okay. We got it, buddy. We're a wrap for Monday, right? All right. Join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. about our time.
What we like to call it around here. It's a 9-ish.
Yeah. All right. Love it. You guys have a great week. Get started off great. Go get shit done. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.